tons, metric tons. And we get $2 per 300, it is $600 down there on the bottom right. But the moment you start adding value, you turn them to steel sheets and iron rods and the ice sections and railway sections and pylons and even free. You can see that the value appreciates, and even car, automobile, and bulldozers, D10. You can see. Look at the final sheet right column, and these are the same amount of material. All we need is just power and technology and the workforce. So $600 now increase as you add value, and you can increase the same amount of iron ore. You can get as much as $1.8 million. I mean, this is transformation of 3,000 times. And this money that gets into our pockets. This down here to the top there, and a lot of jobs are created. This is the approach that are being going to be used. And in between, we have all the material that we need. I mean, this building currently is not keeping on us because of the steel that we have on top there. And you can never do anything infrastructure without steel. So that's the approach. And we have so creating wealth for what we have. Consider the wealth generated when iron ore is transformed. So I've talked about it before. The fact that the wealth is created anytime. You see, you get your you do your steel smelter and you get your steel. I know there are useful waste materials. It's called steel slag. Currently, gases we call slag. They mix with their cement. And then they sell, they import slag. Slag is a very, very useful raw material for making cement. It's also useful for road construction. It's also useful for making blocks. It's useful for stabilizing soil. And yet, we get it as a waste product that becomes a very important raw material for infrastructure delivery. I mean, this is moving to aluminium. The same applies to aluminium. When we GIA, Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, is also working on that. And once you get your aluminium, the waste is called red mud or bauxite residue. Bauxite residue is also very important for building because it contains clay, and clay is very used for building. So you can use bauxite residue for this beautiful clay that we see here. And so really nothing is thrown away. When we start to industrialize, get all the materials that become useful for development. So straight away, yes, we can do that.
When people say prosecutions are delaying, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hanan.
Okay, Minister Hanan is back again. Minister, I also want to find out, you just announced that Hanan and his wife have been formally charged. I want to find out from you, the list of oral cases that you've mentioned, have they also been charged or yet to be charged? Thank you.
I think he provided the answer in the brief, but for your benefit and those who may not have heard him, he will reiterate that point. Yes, Max, you can come to the microphone here.
Okay, Max Olababa, Joy FM, Joy News. Okay, from the briefing, it appears that the real estate companies, some way, somehow, I know a minister raised this issue once, a former minister raised this issue once and became very controversial, so I want to tread cautiously, that the real estate companies are being used, it appears, are being used to launder, money, especially public funds. I want to find out from the AG if he has any plans to tighten regulations, especially regarding purchases when it comes to real estate businesses and then state officials and all of that. The second question is on the National Cathedral. I remember sometime in July, 3 months ago, the AG was tasked by the president to take legitimate and legal steps to terminate the National Cathedral contract, and then also take legal steps to dissolve the Board of Trustees. I want to find out from the AG what the update is regarding that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Max. Yeah, Kester.
My name is Kester Crunchy. I write for the Daily Graphic. My first question is regards the setting up of the special courts to prosecute galamseyers and people who steal money from the government. I wanted to know from the Auditor General, Attorney General, the relationship he has with the Auditor General now. What kind of cooperation is he having with the Auditor General? Because over the past few weeks, he's made a lot of revelations about how much money he's charging people and the collaboration he needs from the Auditor General.
All right. And the second one, take advantage to brief you on the outcome of the meetings.
Yes, exactly, with the president.
Yes, Monday, with the president. On the
the second one is with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I know he has spoken about it, but today the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Special Prosecutor himself said he's collaborating with your office. But that was not the indication we had when your deputy spoke to the media. It looked like they had made some requests and was not forthcoming. Okay. So I wanted to know from you what kind of relationship is between your office and then the Office of the Special Prosecutor and then the Office of the Attorney General, because both of them need some collaboration with you to execute their mandate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will take a final question if there's any. Otherwise, the Attorney General will answer this batch of questions and we'll call it a day. Mr. Attorney General, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. The question of how I feel when people say, the oral cases are delaying, I feel frustrated because the work of prosecution is not done by the Attorney General alone. The Attorney General depends on investigators for the raw material to be able to prosecute. So today's announcement of the Rumble in the Jungle is from investigations over the last 8 months. Excellent work done by Mr. Raymond Archer of the Economic and Organized Crime Office and his team. And I want to thank them very much for the wonderful work that they are doing. The oral investigations, also excellent work, is being done by the National Intelligence Bureau. As for them, we don't mention their names. And they are the ones in charge of the 34 instances or cases that were implicated in the oral committee report. And they are also doing excellent work. You can see from the charges we filed in national service cases that they did an excellent job. You can also see from my briefing on the DRIP case that they are doing an excellent job. So the point is that I have to wait patiently for all these entities to do their work and do the work very well, including, of course, the Financial Intelligence Center. And again, I want to extend, thanks to my junior brother, Kojo Chumbuafo. As for him, I can mention his name. He has been very, very, very critical when we talk about all these bank statements and analysis of bank listing. Without him, we can't obtain them. Okay? So there are times that I call him at 2 a.m. because I'm reading an oral report and there's the need to fill in information about bank records, and I call him and say, in the morning, can I get this when you get to the office? And within 2 hours, he'll go and threaten bank managers and get the information for me. All right? So I will zoom into the next question, which is, when. I already said that the dockets, some have started, dockets have been built in others. When the docket comes, we will advise whether there is a prosecutable case. If there is no prosecutable case, and there will be instances where the investigators will differ from the complaints in the oral report, okay, because they have investigated and come to the conclusion that there are no acts of criminality. If that is the case, we'll just advise that the docket be closed. All right. Otherwise, we'll proceed to investigation. Then the question about real, estate companies and money laundering. That's an excellent one. I remember you said, a certain minister said it. It's the Honorable Sam George who spoke about it, some time ago, about a link between money laundering and real estate, development. Now look at the skyline of Accra. All right. Look at the skyline. It's changing rapidly. So my junior brother Kojo Chumbuafo and I are, collaborating to do something about it. It's not that we don't want the skyline to change. I want that when I'm flying in from anywhere, the skyline of Accra should look like the skyline of New York City. But it must be done with legitimate money. It must be done by hard-working real estate developers who have decided that they want to change the skyline and make business and make profit. So Kojo Chumbuafo's FIC and I will be collaborating on that aspect of the problem. Then the National Cathedral Contract Termination and Board of Trustees. I've just announced that the Auditor General has asked one of the big four to do a forensic audit on National Cathedral. The audit, we gave them 8 weeks. I think we've done about 5 weeks now. So maybe in 3 weeks. And you, the journalist, when I say maybe in 3 weeks, next time I'm here, you said Cathedral in 3 weeks you get a reason, you have it, you don't have it. No. They may ask for an extension. Okay. So maybe in 3 weeks we'll get a forensic audit report. It is at that point in time that I will decide, how to terminate. Okay, because in every contract there is a basis for termination, and that depends on the facts and the evidence. You cannot just terminate, a contract without a basis. I don't want any situation. The fact that we are investigating a crime doesn't mean that the companies involved did not do legitimate work. Somebody dug the hole and had to be paid to dig the hole. Okay, and if they were not overpaid, or they were paid and then they decided to give money as kickback to somebody. If I find a kickback situation, that is a crime. But otherwise, they are entitled to their money. Okay, so we will look at the findings of the forensic report before we do the termination of the contract. As for the Board of Trustees, the dissolution of the Board of Trustees, we are taking steps, to ensure that that happens. Now, the next question. So Maxwell, I hope I've answered your questions very well. Now, the relationship between the Attorney General's office and that of the Auditor General will work excellently together. Okay, and as the Minister for Government Communications indicated earlier, our collaboration is continuing, especially in respect to the Auditor General's report, the annual report submitted to Parliament. The President is serious that we should take that aspect of the work, and then make sure that those who are found to have engaged in infractions, are punished. And so, Mr. President met with us, not only myself and the Auditor General, but also the Chief Justice of the Republic and his team. And the idea is for us to set up special courts that are designated and given the mandate to deal exclusively with matters raised in the Auditor General's report that border on criminality. And we are going to take a two-pronged approach. Okay, one approach is criminal prosecution. The other is the exercise of the power of disallowance and surcharge under Article 187 of the Constitution. That power is granted to the Auditor General. The Auditor General can disallow an expenditure on the basis that the expenditure is illegal, unlawful, or criminal, and then where it is criminal, refer the matter to me, or where it is simply a matter of civil law, impose a surcharge, disallow the expenditure and impose a surcharge. So we are going to adopt the two approaches and then make sure that we succeed in making the Auditor General report meaningful to Ghanaians. Then OSP says he is collaborating with my office. That is true. You've seen the exchanges. Yes, we are collaborating. All right. Maybe the pace of collaboration is not something that I have, that I am happy about. And I don't think that Ghanaians are also happy about the pace at which we are collaborating. All right. But yes, the office of the special prosecutor and my office are collaborating. I thank you all, and God bless all of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General. And thank you very much, members of the media, for attending upon us once again. We will continue to bring you reports on the performance of governments in various sectors. And we trust that the collaboration that exists, which we are very happy about, incidentally, will continue to flourish so that collectively we can keep the people of Ghana informed. So until we meet next time, have a good day. Thank you very much.